Hey everybody, it's me. Sorry, it says you're live, and I'm just sort of like sitting there staring at the camera. Well, I'm not so good at this. I wanted to take a second and talk about my trip last Sunday to a neighborhood called Tigre. Tigre is right on the water, and so it's one of the few places you can actually get to the water from here, because mostly the riverfront around Buenos Aires proper is used up for industrial purposes, so you can't really go to the water. But Tigre is right on the water, and place with a long history. Apparently, a lot of the rich people in Argentina 150, 200 years ago wanted to get out of Buenos Aires from time to time, and they would go over there. And it's also very much a port oriented place, probably like the original port. Then I'm not sure about that, but it makes sense to me. So anyway, and it was one of the places that my friend Paul suggested off the cuff that I might want to visit for a day. So it's been on my list ever since then. Thank you, Paul. So yes, I hopped on. It's easy to get anywhere around here without a car, so I took a bus. Yeah, that's right. First time I've really taken a bus. I've taken the train a bunch, for the subway, soup day. So took a train to another. Took a bus to another train, and took the train north 45 minutes to Tigre. And then you get off in the center of town, and it's really lovely. It's actually got a Disney-esque feel to it, like you're in Epcot or something. Um, and and immediately you're right in this canal. So there's a bridge over the canal, and you can see there's people lining up on both sides to get on the cruises, and there are dozens of boats of various sizes, from I'm going to say little boats that would take 3 or 4 people to really large boats that would take a couple hundred people in this big canal. And so yeah, I walked up the side of one of them, and then couldn't figure out which one to do. And again, my language skills are not very good, and so I couldn't really figure that out. But none of them really appealed to me, and so I came back and went on the other side of the canal and stumbled into like a kiosk where I said, "Oh, this looks pretty good." And he says, "Okay, great. It's going to be," I think it was 9,000 pesos, or like $10. And they said, "Okay, but we're leaving right now." So then off we go onto this thing. And I was on a double-decker, pretty large boat, probably 80 people, 70 or 80 people on the boat. I was on the top floor. It was very hot that day, and so I tried to stay undercover. So here, and off we go. So I took a bunch of pictures. You go out the canal, and then we go down all the way to a house that is a museum, and maybe it's like one of the original houses that's been preserved, and it's actually in a cube of glass. So it's extremely preserved at this point. And we went all the way there. And on the way there, you see all of these cabins, and like it's quite, I mean, not dense like a city, but every area where there could be a cabin on a little bit of land on this network of canals, there is one. And they've all got these launches, I don't know, piers, and normally they put their boat there, but for whatever reason, most of them want to pull their boat out of the water. I don't actually know why. If you know why, you can write it in the comments, maybe tell me. But they take them way out of the water, like, so that maybe they have a little boat, and they go onto this contraption with a winch, and it raises it out of the water by 10 feet. So why they would have to do that, I don't know. Does the water get that much higher? I don't think it could. It would flood everything. But there must be hundreds and hundreds of these little places, and it's very touristy. And so we're in a long line of boats going up the various canals, and there's boats coming back the other way, and everyone. It's like the attitude and the mood where if there's 2 boats passing, they're all yell at each other like, "Hey!" So it's pretty fun. But it was a little long for me, because I was by myself. I had no one to talk to, and I got tired of looking at boats. So we went back, and then I thought we were gonna pull in, but we then went past where we started and went all the way to the other end, and then came back. And by then I was starving, so I came off and had a little food, the usual things, media luna, a coffee, and then what did I do? All right. So then the other big attraction in the Tigre area, besides all of these cabins on the network of canals, is a place called Puerto de Frutos. I'm getting that a little bit wrong, but it is, honest to God, it must be one of the biggest marketplaces I've ever seen. There must be uh, 500 different booths and little stores, and you can buy anything. Like, there's all kinds of food, but mostly housewares. Like, and so if I happen to be setting up a house around here somewhere and I needed a whole bunch of knickknacks or whatever, anything, furniture, I'd probably go out there. And that was a really interesting thing. I didn't buy anything. I wasn't really in the mood for buying stuff that day, but it would be an amazing market to go with some friends and have a bite to eat and maybe buy some cool stuff. And there just didn't happen to be anything I wanted to buy that day. Well, that's okay. And it was really hot and sunny, so I got a lot of sun, to the point where I came home and I think I was over sunned and had to lie down. It was a long day that day. But if you're here and you are looking for something to do from Buenos Aires, it's not too far away, but it's not like the big city. Tigre is highly recommended.